So Todd Bowles, who's the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is doing a presser. I think pretty sure this was yesterday. And he was asked about facing Jaden Daniels and Washington. And here was his response.
I think if you find yourself just facing a rookie quarterback, the other 10 guys going to kill you. So we're facing the Redskins. We're not facing Jaden Daniels. They got 10 other guys that we got to worry about as well. So we don't look at it as facing a rookie quarterback. We're trying to beat the Redskins.
Drops Redskins twice in his response.
Right.
And this is a guy who played for Washington, for the then Redskins.
I think he has he has a lot of pride in playing for the Redskins, and
obviously, as he should.
Probably a little resistant to the whole thing, as a lot of us are. So I thought, shout out to Bowles for being his own man. Kind of was my hero for a day.
he's your
I don't
guy.
think he's going to change anything.
No, of course not.
The ownership has already clearly indicated that they don't want to deal with this.
Right.
They seem to be on board with it, to be honest with you. Harris says for obvious reasons we can't bring it back.
Right.
So, all right.
Like if you gave Harris truth serum and asked, would you rather this team be named Redskins or Commanders?
Of course he would.
And there's no blowback or financial repercussions.
Would.
Of course,
everybody would.
It's the team he grew up with. It's the brand that he knows.
But that
he's familiar with.
He's not gonna bring it back. But I do shout out to Bowles for just the resistance and what that. I think you guys could speak to this, but I think it just shows you A, he's got pride. He's a former Redskin,
right?
And B, it's just like the Commander's name is just so blah.
Now I still think he's a subpar coach. Going back to, I can't remember exactly what happened when they were facing the Lions. But he made just a horrible strategic blunder. Yeah. I'd have to go back and revisit it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
I think he's a very mediocre head coach, but I did like that he just was like, you know what? Not going to address them by Commanders. They're always going to be, in my mind, the Redskins.
Right.
So he didn't have any problem doing that in the presser.
Right. And did anybody call him on it? Did any of the media say, hey, you keep referring to him as the Redskins?
Some people on Twitter were like, can you believe he referred to them as the Redskins?
I can't believe it. The cakes in this coaching thing is weird. I mean, Todd Bowles took him to the playoffs, and they beat the Eagles at the playoffs.
Okay.
Oh, he's just talking about that one particular. He's had some in-game.
I'm drilling down on his strategy.
Yeah. He's been, believe me, Matt, he's been criticized for his in-game decision-making.
He's been underwhelming as a head coach throughout his career.
I know this. He's from the Bill Belichick School of Personality.
Oh yeah, he is a
Bill Belichick
but most NFL
head
coaches,
coach when it comes to pressers.
I'm not going to kill him for that because
speaking.
most guys are like that. Most guys are not going to give you too much.
He's just not very charismatic.
Dry
and
bland.
At least the way he presents himself to the media.
Let's not try to insult him too much though on the week that we play him. I don't want any bulletin board material.
Like I'm sure me calling him a mediocre head coach is going to cause some sort of ripple effect.
I did find myself last night rooting for Boston College because Cakes has been so mean to Bill O'Brien over the years. Like I'm rooting for his success over there.
Again, Bill O'Brien, I went after him more for his just being a bad personnel guy. Like he was wearing too many hats. Like he's always been a really good coach.
I know. I'd have to pull the. You called him an idiot.
There may be some of that floating around on the interwebs.
And they were hyping up the Boston College rebuild and how they're going to turn it into a powerhouse in the Northeast, and that's his goal.
I give him credit.
I couldn't be rooting any harder for him.
He went down and bullied Florida State last night. Hats off to him. That was an impressive performance.
Now, I wouldn't want to play for him, but he might be a good college coach.
Sure.
I'd agree.
Well, I saw that clip. Just getting back to Bowles for a second, I didn't actually bother the clip. I just read it and I just chuckled, and my assumption was it's just kind of his way of just kind of saying, "Yeah, this Commanders. I'm not really buying that. This Commanders a rebrand. They're the Redskins," and I think a lot of fans feel that way. Look, unfortunately, we're on the losing side of this one, but shout out to Bowles. Shout out to Bowles for a little nod to our past.
If he was even thinking about it.
Oh, he definitely
seemed pretty deliberate.
Thinking about it, or maybe he's just his mindset.
Maybe he's just always used to saying
them
that.
The Redskins because that's the name of the team when I played for them.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
Listen, I call them the Skins all the time.
Yeah.
To
me, they're still
we call it hit the Skins.
Yeah. By the way, somebody showed, and I guess this is where they're trying to straddle that line between not ignoring the past. We've had long talks with, frankly, with Jason Wright about this, how the team is trying to that delicate balance. You don't want to ignore your past, all the iconic moments, the iconic franchise, the iconic images, and the future with whatever the name it will ultimately be in this team. And somebody sent me a pic of Sean Taylor. I'm sure you guys saw Sean Taylor jerseys at Dick's in the old Redskins with the Redskins name on the front of the jersey.
I was kind of surprised to see that.
A little surprised by that too, but I think, great.
Right.
But if it's good enough to sell and make money off in 20, why can't we just...
That's part of what's confusing.
That's where my brain explodes,
right.
But I sort of understand.
Yeah,
somewhat.
It can't be the forward-facing name of the team, but you can go to Dick's and still get a Redskins jersey.
It could be. It could be if they were like Augusta. That's what I've always said. If they were like Augusta and they said, "Oh, you're upset that we don't allow women here or whatever," we're not going to have sponsors,
right?
Because we're freaking Augusta National, and we'll just host our own tournament. But that's not the era we live in. It's the Northwest Stadium, and
yes, it is.
You gotta. These guys paid $6 billion. They want to return on their investment. Okay, I get it.
But we have said 1 billion times that, the commander's name is blah.
Yes.
But if the team starts to win consistently.
I do think it'll become a back burner issue. I do. Cakes doesn't think so.
I think it will.
I think you will eventually get over it if they start winning. But it is so hard to win. It's a long ways away. One season of winning ain't going to – I'm talking about sustained winning.
Yeah.
And that's going to take a long time. But I think we're on the right path. This could be the first week. Imagine, what are we, how big of underdogs are we this
3.5 or 4 points, I think.
Probably should be bigger underdogs.
Let me take a look for the
to be honest with
updated.
You. But imagine if they pull
odds.
off a dub. Imagine if they pull off a dub.
And Daniels plays well. That's
Well, it'd be hard to imagine them pulling off a dub and
he's not
poorly.
playing well. True.
Yeah.
True.
Tampa laying 3.5. Your total 43.5.
So if we were on a neutral field, they think they're a touchdown favorite, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
They're playing at home. Tampa's at home.
That's what I'm saying.
You wouldn't add 3 more points on a neutral field.
It might be a pick 'em.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they think it's gonna be a close game.
Okay.
I just can't.
Listen. I think we're gonna go down there and do some work. I think we're gonna unveil a bunch of stuff you haven't seen, all kinds of silly packages. None of that stuff they were doing in the preseason.
No.
None of that.
Well,
Forget about that vanilla
there
stuff.
probably should be some quick game to get the ball out of his hands.
I think there will be some quick game.
I'm a little nervous about Mike Evans against the secondary.
That's a little concerning.
So am I. I'm very nervous. That's
all
my
their
number one
receivers.
concern. It's overtaken my offensive line. Remember, everyone always said, what was your biggest fear?
Yeah.
Offensive line. No. It's the secondary, the corners.
It's going to be a problem.
I think all their receivers could be a problem.
Godwin's going to be an issue. Working in the slot. Now, we'll see what Sanders still can do against him in the slot, if that's where he starts off.
Yeah.
That's a good, stern test for him in week 1.
Yeah. Everybody raves about him.
I could see Sanders still on McMillan, who's a smaller,
They may
quicker
move
guy.
him outside.
Yeah.
But then you're going to put Forbes in the slot against Godwin. I don't like that matchup for Washington.
Both Evans and Godwin are both physical.
Yeah.
What's
players,
the total on this?
43.5.
43.
I think this could be
one of the lower totals on the board.
I think this could be more on the shootout end of it than on the shutout end of it. Even though defense,
I like this.
I'm serious because I think Dan Quinn's going to take chances. That's what I saw. If I could glean anything, I think they're going to. Can they know that their back end? What's the best defense? What's the best sort of tonic for a bad back end? You got to pressure. That's the only thing you could do.
Yep.
So they're going to pressure. They're going to take chances. We're going to get burned a few times. They're going to score a couple Mike Evans touchdowns. And then if Jaden can respond and the offense can respond the way I think they can, I think this could be a higher score game. I would definitely take the over.
Your highest
I would
totals,
100% take the over.
Your highest totals of the week, Texans, Colts, and Jags, Dolphins, both 49.5. And your Sunday night game, Rams at the Lions, that one's at 50.5. That's currently your highest total.
I have no
on
idea
the
who's going to
board.
win, but I think it's going to be high scoring.